Hello, I'm Henry at Mr. B's Emporium of Reading Delights, and today we're going to talk about my favourites. All of these listed will be available on our website. You can buy them. We're doing half-price postage for the rest of the month as well. So if you need some books to read, maybe try some of mine. First things first, I'm going to start with the 5th season. This is sort of science fiction, fantasy, a little bit of everything really. Now, I'm going to put this out there now, it is an end-of-the-world novel, so maybe you don't want to read this one at the moment, but if you are looking for people that are having it worse off than you, maybe give it a go. So it's set in a world where once every few hundred years, maybe less, maybe more, there's a cataclysmic world-ending event. Now the thing is, these events are actually caused by individuals with abilities unlike anyone else. They're called Origins. Because of their power, they are shunned, they are oppressed. Now we're following 3 Origins at different stages in their life. And the book starts, it's punchy, a season's kicked off. The world is ending. And we're going to find out how these characters' paths will cross over at various points. And if I'm honest, it's just one of the best fantasy novels I've read in a long time. The Sisters Brothers, Patrick DeWitt. This is a Western, although it is very much unlike any Western I've ever read. Maybe a little bit of Wes Anderson in there. We are following Charlie and Eli's sisters. They are guns for hire. They are on a job. They are pursuing someone who's stolen some money and some ideas from their employers. It's one of those books where you feel like he's setting up a scene, you know exactly how it's going to pan out, and it never pans out the way you expect it to. The Hearts of Men by Nicholas Butler. I only just finished reading this one, and it blew me away. Now, I'm not necessarily one for literary fiction. I love a good genre. However, this is something else. We are following Nelson and Jonathan. It starts off in the 60s, and they every year go to scout camp, Camp Chippewa. We follow them over the course of their lives as they keep returning to this camp, so maybe 30 years later, maybe 60 years later, and we see how they have evolved as men, and all the while sort of relating back to how modern life is changing the way even the scout camp is perceived. By the end of the book, I felt like I knew these individuals as people more than just characters in a book. Assassin's Apprentice, Robin Hobb, a stupid amount of books set in the same universe to keep you busy for a while. This is following Fitz, who is the bastard son to the prince-in-waiting in this sort of medieval fantastical world. And the book, it starts with his first memory. He is being returned to the throne by the family that are raising him because they no longer can. And, of course, this is causing scandal. No one knew he existed, and so they send him to be a stable lad. And over the course of the novel, his sort of rank sort of improves. Eventually he moves up to the castle because he has royal blood in him. And then one night, a secret door appears in his room, takes him upstairs. There's this hooded figure beckoning him to follow him, and it's the royal assassin. And that assassin is going to start teaching him the tips of the trade. Early Rizer by Jasper Fforde. Imagine Minority Report in the middle of Wales in the winter. It is set in Wales, but imagine that every winter, because of something to do with Earth orbiting the sun, humans, we have to hibernate. We have Charlie Worthing, first year as a winter consul. Now, the thing about winter consuls is they are the hardest of the hardest. They don't hibernate through the winter, they stay awake. Your first year as a winter consul, you're probably not going to survive. And Charlie, he thinks he's going to be happy in Cardiff. But he's heard rumours of viral dreams further up the country, and that's going to take him to deepest, darkest, coldest Wales. It's very much a dystopia, but with a good sense of humour to it. Kings of the Wild, Nicholas Eames. I don't know why I saved this for last. Maybe because it's the best book in the shop. If you like good escapism fantasy, it is high fantasy and then some. Give this one a go. So imagine a fantasy world where all the mercenary bands are treated like rock stars. You're thinking AC/DC, you're thinking Led Zeppelin, you're thinking Stevie Nicks. It's all in there. Whenever they've got a job to do, they call it a gig. They'll do tours of the wilderness. They'll come home, they'll brag about it. They'll get rich, they'll get famous, and then they'll end up drinking a lot of alcohol and burning an inn down or something like that. You know, typical rock star stuff. We are following Saga. They are the Led Zeppelin of their time. But, like Led Zeppelin, their time is now past. They're a little bit older. Maybe they've settled down in various different ways. One day something happens. They've got to reform the band. And then they've got to go and tackle something epic on the other side of the world. feels like it's just a joke of a book, and it's not. It's so much more than that. While the idea is great fun, the amount of heart and feeling that's involved with this as well is too good to pass up. Thank you very much for watching. As I mentioned earlier, all is available through our website. We are doing half-price postage rates as well, so keep an eye on the list. We're updating them all the time, and maybe you can pick up some good books to while away the days. Cheers!